we are discussing the history of the color blue. And even though blue is the sky and blue is the ocean, it's actually the rarest color on Earth. This is why blue is the color of the gods. Let's get into the history of the color blue. So I think for most of us, it's hard for us to imagine never having seen blue because we grew up with computers and TVs, and so we have these digital spectrums of blue around us all the time. But for most of ancient civilization, they had actually never seen blue before. Like, yes, they saw the sky, and yes, they saw the sea, but in terms of handling blue objects, it wasn't really a thing. And that's because blue pigments are really, really rare. More rare than purple. Okay, it's the rarest. And so you can imagine you're living in like 600 AD and all of a sudden you see this bright electric blue for the first time, ultramarine. It's a pigment that's made from a precious stone called lapis lazuli. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I think I am. I don't know. But it was very rare and very expensive. It was actually found in the mountains of Afghanistan, and they would import it into Europe from the Silk Road, and they would have to like hammer it and get the dust, and they would create this ultramarine pigment out of it. But because the color is so rare and so precious, we're going to have some gatekeeping going on, right? So the church comes in and they're like, this color is the same color as the sky. It's the same color as heaven itself. We think that we deserve to own this color. And basically we're the only ones who can afford this color, so we're going to take ownership of it. And the church makes it illegal for anyone else to use blue. And not only can just the church use it, but only the mother herself can be seen wearing it, the Virgin Mary. And this is why in many historical paintings, it's only Mary who's wearing blue. But of course, it wasn't long until the kings and queens of Europe got a bit jealous because they believe that they are the embodiments of God. It must be nice to be so delusional. And so they believe that they should also wear blue, and so they do. And from this point on, we see everyone from Charlemagne to King Louis XIV wearing royal blue. That's where we get the term royal blue. And so from this point, blue is basically the color of the elite, and it stays this way for a really long time. But then the 1800s come around, and by this time, blue pigments have become much, much more affordable. And this corresponds with a period in history where values like rationality and liberty are taking hold in Western society. And suddenly this idea that blue is a color only for the elites, it's not going to hold anymore. God is dead, said Nietzsche in 1882. Give blue back to the people. He never said that, but he could have said that. And suddenly we see painters from Monet to Van Gogh to Picasso using these bright blues to depict their own ideas of what heaven is, what the great sky represents, the mystery of life. And once this understanding of blue becomes mainstream in society as this, personalized color, this color that you can own and I can own, we see it really become a democratic color. It becomes part of the American ideology, the American Revolution, the French Revolution, blue collar workers and navy uniforms. And of course in 1866, when Levi Strauss invents the